Hi mamas, good afternoon. Amber Smith here with Moon Mama Yoga and Birth Services, as well as my cat. I'm at home again instead of at the studio. There were some other things going on at the studio today, so I thought I would come home and do the live here. So I'm happy to see you all. Well, kind of. Today we are going to do shoulder openers. So what that means is a lot of what we do as humans is in front of us, right? We are, driving our cars. Like, how often are we driving our cars like this? We're usually like this, right? So a lot of what we do shortens our pecs, but elongates our rhomboids. And when we do that over time, when we get a little bit older, we get what's called the dowager's hump, that beautiful hump that we see on older people sometimes. So we're gonna do today some moves to help counteract that, right? And I think too, for a lot of us as women, when we went through puberty or when we got our breasts, we kind of did this action where we're like, oh my gosh, we kind of want to hide a little bit. So we're gonna be doing a lot of opening, okay? So I like to start a little bit earlier before 1 so that you can gather up all of your goodies. I just have a blanket, just as long as you just meet me here on the mat. That's all I care about, right? So again, this is Amber Smith with Moon Mama Yoga and Birth Services, and let's go ahead and just get started, okay? So go ahead and take your seat of honor. You can bring a blanket underneath your sits bones. We can cross at the ankles or put one foot in front of the other. And as you know, I always like to start with the good breathing, okay? So your spine is nice and long. The crown of your head is being pulled to the ceiling. Our shoulders melt away from our ears. Our hands can be palm up or palm down, whatever feels good to you. And let's just begin on this cold, windy, stormy day to just take some deep belly breaths. So we inhale in through our nose, fill up that belly on the inhale, and as you exhale, I want you to exhale through your mouth. We're going to release today. So we inhale, exhale through the mouth. Good, again, inhale. And one more time. Good, just letting go of anything that's happened thus far today. Knowing that our day is not over yet. There might be still quite a bit that we have left to do. So just taking this moment, taking the next 15 minutes to honor self, to honor your breath, and to listen to your body. We need to have reset buttons, and how often do we actually give ourselves that? So let's gather our hands to our heart center. I'm beginning this class with gratitude and love for whatever it took for you to be here, for whatever it took for you to find this video, to tune in live, or to just take the time to know that you're worth it, that you're worth this time for you. That taking care of self is of the utmost importance. Bowing head to hands. Hands to knees, and then we lift our gaze. Again, if you're just tuning in, we're doing shoulder openers today. So again, a lot of what we do is in front of us. We have rounded shoulders, short pec muscles, long rhomboid muscles, which creates that dowager's hump, which I don't think anyone really wants, right? We don't want the Quasimodo look. So we're gonna be doing a lot of heart openers today. So hands are on the knees. We're gonna do shoulder circles to the back of the room. And I don't just mean very intentional, right? Up to your shoulders, rolling all the way down, and then back forward again. Inhale as you come up, exhale as you roll down. Good, and then coming towards me. Inhaling as you come up, Exhaling as you roll down. Good, and coming back to center, kind of shaking it out. Hands come to the heart. We inhale, reach as wide and as high as we can. Palms come together, we press and exhale down. We've done this before, I believe. So we inhale, reaching up. Palms together, actively pressing. Again, we're not relaxed, we're pressing. See the difference? And then we inhale, actively reaching up, 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 up. Actively pressing. This warms up the shoulders. Okay. When you're bringing your arms around, see if you can bring them just a little bit behind you. Instead of right in alignment or a little in front, we want to be just a titch behind. Again, opening up that chest. All the way up to the ceiling. Palms together. Good, again. Palms together. Beautiful, again, this warms up those shoulders. Good, coming back to neutral. We're gonna bring our hands behind, okay? So, bringing our hands behind, we're gonna interlock our fingers, and then we're gonna press back, okay? So we're stretching out so that our elbows are straight. Again, like this doesn't do anything, right? Chest is out, shoulder blades are coming together, arms are straight, palms are touching, okay? And you're gonna lift up as high as you can. Sometimes this is enough, and that's fine, okay? But again, we're elongating our pecs. Okay, so deep breaths. Again. Good, and then we can release. Lovely. Bringing our hands back to our knees, our chin comes to chest. I know we've done this before. I do not teach this in every single class I teach because we hold so much in our necks and in our shoulders. So hands are down, chin comes to chest. And when we inhale, we're gonna bring chest and chin together. So we're inhaling more into our chest than in our belly in this stretch. And then as you exhale, you'll sigh it out. Okay, and you'll feel yourself just kind of melt, okay? But again, making sure, our posture, we tend to be like this, right? We want to be really strong, really proper, right? Proper in our posture, right? Shoulders are constantly back. So when our hands are on our knees and our chin comes to chest, we take a nice deep inhale. Bringing chest and chin together, and you'll feel a really good stretch right in here, okay? And then as you exhale, you sigh it out. Good, again. Sigh it out. One more. Sigh it out. Good. From here, on your next inhale, you'll gently inhale right ear to right shoulder. And then you can exhale, chin back down to chest. And then inhale, left ear over left shoulder. And when you're ready, gently exhale, chin back down to chest. So continue to rock, inhaling as you come up. Exhaling as you roll down. Timing it with your breath and your rhythm. I'm sorry if you hear little crunches, that's my cat. She's eating right now. A little lunchtime snack. Okay, the next time your chin meets your chest, allow your head to hang and really notice your shoulders. What are your shoulders doing? All right, have you hunched over without even realizing it? Okay, take note. Bring those shoulder blades back. Good, and then when you're ready, gently lifting our gaze and And now we're going to lift it all the way up so that our chin is trying to reach the corner of the room. So we're not collapsing our cervical spine. We're not just going all the way back. We're very intentional in just lifting our chin to the corner of the room. Okay. Good. And then gently bringing it back down. From here, we take the left hand out in front. We cross it at the elbows with the right. This left hand underneath comes up. This right hand is going to touch palms, okay? When you touch palms and you actively press the two together, you'll feel a really deep stretch in between your shoulder blades and those rhomboids, okay? So if your palms don't touch, that is fine. You can hook pinky and thumb, but the action is the same. The action is pressing the two together, okay? So we press the two together and then you can raise the elbows up a bit, okay? Again, we're opening up those shoulders. Good, knowing that the more you press, again, if we're just relaxed in this, it does almost nothing, right? The point is to be really active, to press those palms together, to lift the elbows, to consciously expand and open. Good, and then we'll unwind, okay? We unwind, and now bringing the right underneath and the left on top, across at the elbows. The right comes up, and the left makes its way to the palm. Again, if you can't reach, hooking elbow or hooking thumb and pinky is fine. Pressing the two together, lifting up. And maybe one side is different than the other, and that's fine. Good, deep breaths, exhale. Actively pressing, good, and then we can relax and shake it out. Good. From here, let's come to our hands and our knees. I'm going to show you extended child's. And extended child's is great. I've also heard it called puppy dog, but I wasn't taught that it was called puppy dog. I was taught that it was extended child's. But you'll come to your hands and your knees. Let me switch back a little bit. You can see me. There we go. So coming to your hands and your knees, again, making sure your elbows aren't super locked, right? But that they are straight. Everything's in alignment. Good. We're going to inhale. And then as we exhale, we're leaving sits bones up in the air and we're coming down. So we're leaving our booties up in the air as we stretch down and bring our forehead down to the mat, okay? And then what you can do here, again, while leaving those sits bones up in the air, is you can walk your hands out. And when your head is down and you're walking your hands out, you'll feel a really deep stretch in your armpits, basically. And then what you can do is you can also come up on what's called spider fingers, okay? So spider fingers are when just our fingers are on the mat or the ground. So in our extended child's, if you want to come up onto spider fingers to take it a bit deeper, you may, okay? Beautiful. That's a great shoulder opener that you can do at any time. Obviously, we have our down dog. That's another great shoulder opener. So what we're going to do is curl those toes under and lift all the way up into our down dog. So here's what I see a lot with a down dog. I see a lot of like this, okay? What we're going to do is we're bringing our sits bones to the corner of the room, okay? So it's different than, you know, just kind of like being like this. We're pushing back. And as we push back, our heart center melts. Okay, so we're pushing back, our head melts down. Okay, and your heels might not touch, and that's fine. You can work with that. You can lift one heel up at a time. The goal, though, isn't to be like this. It's to push back, get your ears in alignment with the inside of your arms, and then getting those sits bones to the corner of the room. Oh, geez, I wore the wrong shirt today. My apologies. Jeez, please. Good. So holding it here. And then this is what I was taught with puppy dog. You can bend your knees and then push those sits bones back a little bit more and then extend. Okay, but I thought that maybe this was puppy dog. But anyway. Beautiful. We lower down. Knees come down. Toes together, knees out wide, child's pose. Good, and again, just like with extended child's where our booty was up, in this one you can walk those hands out and get them onto spider fingers as well, right? So, getting onto those spider fingers, and then you can walk out, and then it gets a little bit deeper if you do that as well, okay? Good. And then we can walk in. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna bring our knees together. So instead of them being hip width apart, we're gonna bring them together and come sitting on our knees, okay? So with this, it can be, it's just like what we did before, where we brought our hands behind us, our fingers are interlocked. We're extending our arms out straight, so palms are kind of being pushed together. Now, if this is enough for you, stay right here. This is wonderful. Again, you can open up and lift that chin to the corner of the room and just really be proud, right? Be proud of this beautiful chest. Or if you want to take it a bit deeper, you can begin to lower down, and as you lower down, the weight of your arms will start to stretch above you. And as your arms stretch above you, then it gets an even deeper stretch into those shoulders. Good. You can even bring them down and kind of stretch the shoulders away from ears, and then you can come back in and up again. Bringing those hands down and lifting up. Oh, I was so cold all day, now I'm all sweaty. Just with shoulder openers, that goes to show how tight we all are. So the other thing that you can practice, and again, this is after, you can't just get on your mat and do this pose I'm about to show you. This is one that you definitely need to warm up with all these other things first. So I'm gonna turn my back to you, so I hope that you can hear me, okay? So this is reverse prayer, okay? So knowing that our prayer is usually like this. So this one's reverse prayer, okay? So what you can do is start, right, to bring those palms together. Now, let's say that this is good and you're feeling a real good stretch here. That's totally fine. You can stay here. If you want to take it a bit deeper, palms come together and then they come like this. This is our reverse prayer. Again, really deepen those arms. Okay. Deep breaths, and I can feel this all the way into my wrists. Okay. So this is not easy. It's quite hard, okay? So when you're ready, you can release, and then another really great stretch is you want to take your arm, you're gonna bring it down. Okay, so it's like giving yourself a pat on the back. And the point is to then take your other hand and bring it up, okay? So the goal is to try to get the fingers to touch. If you're like this, that's fine, because again, this movement alone is wonderful, okay? But the goal is to then inch away until you can grab on. And then once you can grab on, you can pull, and when you pull, it takes the stretch a lot deeper, okay? So this one's a great one because you can just do it at your desk, you know? No one's gonna really think you're that weird. They might think you're weird if you get down into child's pose at work, maybe. But this is one you can just do right at your desk. And the shoulder circles you can do right at your desk, and the neck circles. And I mean, there's a bunch that we can do to counteract all of the forward things that we do, okay? So when you're ready to come out of this, you'll release, good, and shake it out. And then we'll switch sides. Good. So sometimes it's hard to find each other. There we go. And then grabbing, so you can see one side of me is a lot tighter than the other, and that's how most humans are. Especially if we sleep on one side or hold our purse on that one side. Okay. Remembering to breathe. Good, and when you're ready, you can release and then shake it out. Okay, so those are our shoulder openers for today. Again, just kind of what my intention is with these videos to MOMnation is to introduce you to yoga. And then what I want you to do is to go find it. I want you to find a studio that you jive with, find a YouTube channel that you jive with, one that actually gives you a full class. This is, and if this is what you can fit in, I'm super happy to be here with you. If 15 minutes is what you can do, I'm very happy to be here with you. I invite you to explore this on your own and to hopefully, as we meet every time here together, that it just helps take away that yoga stigma, and that we don't feel like we have to fit into a certain box or be a certain type of person to do yoga in public, or to go to a class. It is so stormy right now. We have this massive tree in our backyard, and it is blowing. A huge branch just fell in my yard. Anyway, I digress. So I just invite you to explore this. Yoga is not a public practice. It is a private practice, right? It's between you and your breath and your mat. So those are just a couple of really yummy shoulder openers, and even just starting there, right? Couple down dogs, some extended childs, shoulder circles, neck circles, right? All of that stuff, even just going like this throughout the day. Even if you, let's say that there's a wall right here, you can put your hand up against a wall and then just step forward, and that brings a massive stretch all into your shoulder girdle to, again, open up. If any of you do CrossFit and you're doing a bunch of stuff in front, make sure that you are stretching and that you're also strengthening those rhomboids. Because again, if pecs are short and strong and rhomboids are all stretched out, we're gonna be like this. And what we want, right? We can breathe better, right? Good posture. So we wanna make sure that we're also working our backs and stretching out our pecs as much as possible, okay? So I invite you to continue your yoga exploration. I invite you to take a minute, actually 5 to 10, and do a shavasana. What that means is you lie down, you listen to some pretty music, or you just are silent, and you relax. Shavasana is a corpse pose, and what that means is you just lay still. So thank you for being here with me. Again, this is Amber Smith with Moon Mama Yoga and Birth Services. This was a little shoulder opener intro, and if you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment. And until we meet again, let's bring hands to that heart center as we bow our heads. Taking another deep breath and honoring this space and this time that we have to share together. Even if it's 15 minutes or less, that it still matters. And it all is a nice drop in our bucket, which is what we need as mamas. May the light, love, and peace within me and my family always honor the light, love, and peace within you and yours. Namaste. Stay warm, mamas. Love you lots.